but I'm not going to.
No. Next time.
Yeah. So you'll be happy with the fact, Ray, that we had introduced the show to the boys a while back, but they never really took to it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, within this last week or so, they are all about Johnny Test.
Nice. That's a good one.
So
Chris really enjoyed watching that one with Quinn. Especially the intro song.
Yeah, the intro's pretty good.
Johnny Test.
So, well, how have you all been?
Good. Crazy. Chris is at a sleepover with Logan and a couple friends of ours, so that's why she won't be joining us tonight.
Oh, so it's just the dudes, huh?
Just, yeah, Quinn and I. So we had some fun on playing Battlefront 2.
Cool.
Goofing around with that, and then I got ready for the show, and we ate like crap, and yeah, so we're good to go.
Yeah, there's been a lot of crap eating, to put it that way, because it's just been like, we're too tired from working just to cook anything. Just go grab something.
Yep.
So, you see the new addition to my toy room here?
Oh, shit.
This is that Hot Wheels thing they got for Christmas, which they don't play with a lot, which we're just like, really? Why did y'all get that for Christmas then? But
you know, it would only take a couple of 3D printed parts, and that could be the Avengers Tower. Just saying. You've got the printer.
I've got 2 printers now.
That's right. You could make it Stark first, and then you could have another one where like Stark's all falling apart, and it's got the A.
That'd be hilarious.
Anyway, I got 3. I had a 4th, but I didn't like where it was going, so I stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 3. I had 5 going for a while, and then it was like, this is too much.
Damn. Yeah, I knocked out 3, and one of them, like, it's funny because Friday was kind of slow at work, so I actually, took a little time and watched some of the episodes of some of the shows, or at least the intros, and did a little kind of reminiscing, and yeah, I'm like, yeah, some of these I definitely remember more fondly than they actually are. So,
see, if Chris was on, I'm sure she would have picked the gummy bears.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do a live action of that, though.
That's a lot of CG.
Yeah, a lot of CGI.
A lot of CG.
Yep.
Well, I would have gone to one of the picks that I would have normally gone to was would have been GoBots, but I didn't pick that one specifically because of Bumblebee. Like, now that they've announced that, we're rebooting the universe and this is we're starting off with this, I'm like, nope, y'all just keep doing what you're doing right now.
Yep.
We might end up being all right.
Yep.
So,
Bumblebee was so much fun.
It was a fun movie. It was a fun kids movie, and like I want to show the boys, and I'm like, it's a Transformers movie that I can show the boys and be okay with.
Yep.
So instead of, Daddy, why is there a long drawn out shot of this girl's butt? Well, you'll understand
she's
later.
The engine. She's just fixing the engine. It's.
Mm-hmm. So, a Transformers movie about the Transformers, not,
Really? That's just weird.
Yeah.
Not Megan Fox's ass and,
and others.
And others,
Yeah. I was going through and, like, putting my office back together, and I may still go through and get rid of a few more things that, I've just kind of held on to that I'm like, that doesn't really have any meaning for me now. So, like, one of the things I'm seeing if I can get any money for is I've got the first 7 books of The Walking Dead.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, I've read them. I enjoyed them. I don't ever see rereading them though. So I'm like, well, maybe I can find someone else that'll want them. So
Yeah.
I'm only asking $10 a piece for them. They go for like $25. So Richard's in
Pages are
the
all
chat
sticky
room.
though.
No, not quite. I will say the moment in the books. Have y'all read the books or watched
No,
the
but
show?
go ahead.
Y'all okay?
You're not ruining it for me.
The moment in the books where they kill his wife, is like they hadn't gotten to that in the show, and the way that it happens in the book is horrifying. And literally, I turned that page and my jaw just dropped. I'll never forget reading that part and being like, "Oh damn!" Like, so
Crazy.
yeah. Anyway, Richard's in the chat room. He said rebooting Transformers universe ? Yeah, they kind of officially. Well, no, they officially announced that they're not that the Bumblebee is not in line with the other movies, and that they are going to move forward. They've already got a sequel to Bumblebee, and I think an Optimus Prime movie lined up. Is the last thing I heard, and they will not be tying in with the Bayformers. So I'm very happy.
Too bad. I'm so, such a shame.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, imagine actually wanting the robots to kind of resemble the vehicles that they turn into. Imagine that.
Really?
I mean, there are bits and pieces on there, but literally it was bits and pieces. I was like, that might be a bumper. That I don't even know.
When they turn into Transformers, the actual robot forms in the Bay movies, it looks like half the shit's going to fall off of them.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I know he said he was going for a more organic look, but yeah.
They're not organic.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing, isn't it?
They're robots in disguise.
It's in the name, right there. First thing.
Yep. Oh well. So. Now all we need is the X-Men reboot that's coming, and the Fantastic Four reboot that's coming.
So the whole. Okay, here's the thing. I like several of the X-Men movies.
Oh yeah.
But I'm okay with them nuking everything and starting over, because I mean that's pretty much run its course. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, and I'd rather see movies where they tie in with the rest of the universe. Fantastic Four, on the other hand, yeah, like never.
You know what? I'll watch the first one if it's on, just because it's so bad, but I'll still watch it. The second one I start, like if it's on, I'll be like, "Oh, this is even worse than I remember."
The only thing that's good about those movies is what's her name, Jessica Alba. She's very attractive, but it's still not enough. I didn't
like her in that role, though.
Oh no, she is not good in that role at all. It's just like, but see, I've never been that
casting for that.
Oh yeah, I've never been that person though. That's like, oh wow, I find that person attractive. I'm gonna go watch the movie because they're in it. Because I'm like, no, I don't care how attractive they are. If it's not a good movie, it's not gonna hold my attention. And that was one of those things. It's like, okay, all right, can we get over with? Can this movie end, please? Oh, and Doctor Doom. What the hell were they thinking?
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
It's sad, and I still haven't seen that X-Men Apocalypse. But
okay.
It's bad when cosplayers do a better job of creating the character than the movie studios do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I've seen some awesome Dooms. Like I've seen some really awesome looking Dooms. And I'm just like,
Yep. Yep.
So, all right. Well, if you don't want, we can go ahead and get started. Get going.
I'm game.
Ready?
Get Sean to bed soon.
Considering I really need to edit the show tonight. Pardon me. It's on the back of my throat. That's what she said. I need to go ahead and get the show edited tonight because I guarantee you I will not have time tomorrow. No. So I'm gonna wake up and we're gonna, do the things we need to take care of around the house, and then we're gonna immediately, start working on floors again. So, yay! Not really.
Well, if we're gonna start the show, give me 2 minutes. I'm just gonna say I need to quit. I got drinks ready to go. So,
ready?
How wide was the flooring planks you picked, Eugene? They only like 2 inches wide or something?
Do what now?
So the flooring planks that you used, the tile, how wide was it?
6 inches.
Oh, that's a pretty good width.
I was gonna say, yeah. That's right. When y'all do construction up there, y'all do use Imperial. Because I was like, oh man, what is that? And what is that?
No, yeah. I was raised in the generation that uses both. So
okay. No, yeah. They're 6 inches by 4 feet, and the biggest issues have been, I started over, like everything that I'm doing pretty much ties in together. So literally we did these 2 small closets, which were by themselves. We did our bedroom, which was by itself. And then everything else is linked together. So I started over in this one corner, and we only went maybe 3 or 4 planks widthwise. And then we hit the entryway. Well, so I had to go all the way down to the entryway, and my wife needed something to, hammer the planks into. So she's like, we've got to go ahead and do this closet so that there's resistance there. So we had to stop and do that. And then we got the entryway done. Well, we get to the other side of the entryway, and it's maybe 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. So I have to start ripping planks to fit in that. And then we get back on track, and we can go 2 or 3 more feet. And then we get to the entryway to my office here. And then I've got to worry about, I've got to worry about the door jamb over there. Well, then I've got to backfill going that way. And I'm the one that's doing all the cutting. So anytime we come to a part where I have to do some measurements and cutting and stuff, it basically shuts everything down. When we get to a part where it's just her being able to keep up, like I have to devote almost all of my energy to making sure she's got enough boards and they're cut and everything, because she can fly through it. And she does a great job. But like I said, if I had one other person here, like if I had one person that could just, do a straight cut on a board and like keep up and make sure she has enough stuff going, we would have done a lot quicker. Because otherwise it's like, well, I can either focus on making sure she has material to keep going, or I can sit down and focus on how I'm going to get this damn cut for this door jamb.
Yep.
So
that's why I said if we had the tube technology, I would have been down there in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. So I love how it's coming out. It looks great. It's just, it's like I said, and slow moving. I've got one more door jamb I have to deal with first thing tomorrow morning, and then the rest of the boys' room is square. So it's literally just going to be straight cuts, and then I'll be good to go. So I went ahead. I'm already going a little faster this time because I stopped and borrowed my brother's table saw, and I went to go pick it up yesterday, and I'm like, where's the where's the blade guard? Where's the blade knife behind the blade to help it from kicking back? That's for wusses. No, it's to help from losing your freaking fingers. So he's trying to find it. He finds it. He's like, oh, it's missing a piece. It won't connect here. And I'm like, okay. All right. That's fine. Whatever. Go to pick it up. It's missing 2 of the bolts on the bottom. So it's kind of halfway hanging on to the stand. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to take this thing home. I'm going to try to cut something. And if it works out okay, I'll keep using it. But if I even remotely feel like I'm going to kill myself or lose a finger, I'll go back to using my my jigsaw. So anyway.
Sweet.
Oh, wait a minute. Richard, I have to podcast and edit tonight. Just went to see an early screening of Shazam.
Oh,
I'm sure you can't say anything about how it was, Richard, but could you at least give us a thumbs up, thumbs down? So, all right.
Is it better than what I was hoping? Because it didn't look
I
great.
have very low expectations for
Yes.
it. I honestly am just like, if it's a fun movie, okay, I'll be okay with that. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
thinking it's going to be the best DC movie out ever.
that would be insane.
Well, it's a pretty low bar.
It is a very low bar. Okay, of the DCE, what is it? The DCEU, is that what they call it? Of those movies, which one do you think is the best?
Like you have to go with the dark. Oh, like of the new version, because
I'm talking about of no, I'm not talking about all DC movies.
Okay.
I'm saying just like of the connecting universe they have.
Wonder Woman is a.
I'd say Wonder Woman followed by Justice League. I thought I liked Justice League. I thought it was okay.
I didn't really care for Justice League. You know what? Aquaman had its faults, but at least Jason Momoa was fun to watch.
I haven't seen that yet, and I've heard it is a fun movie. Well, then maybe I should. Yeah. He said 8.5 out of 10, Guardians-ish. All right, if it's fun and airy like Guardians, that'd be cool. Better than Superman films and JL, not as good as Wonder Woman or Aquaman. So, okay.
Ooh, see, not Aquaman.
I know you didn't care for Aquaman though. So, all right. With that said, we'll go ahead and get started here. So, muting the mics. Welcome out to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 113. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight's opening question is, what was your go-to snack when you were watching cartoons as a kid? Ray?
My go-to, because especially when I was a kid, the cartoons were on Saturday morning, so it was Fruit Loops. Absolutely loved Fruit Loops. They were my favorite. And if I didn't have those, it was Lucky Charms. But believe it or not, I actually preferred Fruit Loops.
You know what? Fruit Loops is my go-to, and if we didn't have Fruit Loops, I'd usually go to Fruity Pebbles. I like the Fruities. I like the cocoa cereals as well, but I'm same generation, dude. Like Saturday morning cartoons was when you mainly got to watch them, so you generally tend to be breakfast stuff. And something that my parents started doing with us that we have carried on with our children is hey, here's some things that y'all can eat in the morning that do not require mommy and daddy, like cereal, and here's some bowls and stuff. So y'all just go ahead and get up and get your iPads and watch cartoons or play games, and here's some cereal, and just let mommy and daddy sleep. Yeah. So, yeah. Sean, what was your go-to snack watching cartoons?
I had any fruity cereal that would turn the milk into a different flavor, and Fruity Pebbles specifically.
Nice. Excellent. Well, we're all on the same
Yeah,
page.
it was always Saturday morning.
Yep.
Watch us have the same picks too. This is
I'm almost worried.
over 50 shot attempts. But anyway.
All right. Well, this is a different configuration, but that is fine. So let's see here. Nope. There we go. All right. Let me just get that situated there. There we go. Okay. Well, guess I'll have to go in and cut that out. Guess I get some more editing tonight. Yay! Editing. All right.
Write down how long that took, and then you know.
Well, I didn't write down when it started, so yeah, here we go. All right, so tonight's topic is one that Sean actually brought up. We're going to there's been a lot of live action remakes of cartoons here recently, and like Disney is going all out right now. Like they're freaking. We've got Dumbo coming out here in just a few weeks. We've got the new Aladdin coming out. We've got the Lion King. We've got 3 remakes of Disney animated classic movies coming out just this year alone. And then, of course, you could consider Transformers and G.I. Joe. But I mean, we've been doing this for a long time. And we thought we'd take a stab at it and see, if there are any cartoons, particularly from the 80s and 90s, that we would like to see remade live action nowadays. So, pardon me. Got a cough I can't seem to get rid of. All right. With that being said, would anyone like to go first?
Sure, why not?
All right, Ray. What is the first 80s or 90s cartoon that you would like to see remade live action?
Okay, so I'm going to need your help with this one because this is one of the ones that I would be very excited to see remade.
Okay.
More specifically because we've been watching a lot of the Orville. We're all caught up with it. It's been fantastic, and I would love to see what that group can do with the Jetsons.
Oh, okay.
I thought that the Jetsons with an Orville twist, where it's kind of like more adult and brought up, and
okay,
like Seth MacFarlane as George.
Could you imagine? I think it would be amazing.
That would be interesting.
So
that would be really interesting.
That would be my first one, and I'm trying to think of who else you could like. You could get some of the Stranger Things cast in there too, as Elroy or.
See, I'm horrible at casting. Even though I did cast at least 2 of the 3 movies that I picked, I'm horrible at casting. Yeah. So
Tom Holland as Elroy.
Oh, there you go.
Who did you say?
Spider-Man. Tom Holland.
Oh my God.
He's a little old for it, but whatever, it works.
Sure. Well, I mean, we're redoing it anyway.
Yeah,
so
we are. That's true.
I was going to ask, are you going to go? Are you doing? Obviously, you want it to be a little more adult, a little more grown up. You're obviously not going like how we had the Flintstones movies, right?
No. So I would say it's kind of like very much how the Orville is to Star Trek, right? Where they make fun of themselves and everything, but still have like a more serious tone. Very much like that, where the Jetsons is more grown up, more realistic in its expectations. But so like the dog, right? Instead of a talking dog, it would be like a voice, or it would be either an alien, or or it'd be a voice synthesizer like they have on Up, right? Where it's.
I was gonna say that's what I'd like to see is an actual dog, but it just has the voice. Yeah. So I think that would be awesome.
Think about this: take the entire cast of the Orville and transfer it over to the Jetsons. Norm Macdonald as the voice of the dog.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Oh, Norm Macdonald would be awesome as
Seth MacFarlane and what's her name that plays the first officer is George and Judy.
Yeah.
It could totally work.
It would, and that's kind of.
The guy that plays Boris as the boss.
See, I still have to watch the Orville.
Oh, come on, Eugene! You got.
I haven't had time. I've been doing renovation stuff.
The last episode I really enjoyed. Did you see?
I've only seen up to season 1. I gotta wait.
Dude, you've been missing a lot.
I know. I'm gonna wait till it comes out on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Watch it.
All right. I was No, now here's my other question. What was the robot's name?
Oh,
Rosie. Was it Rosie?
Rosie.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was thinking like the neighbor had a male version, right? Or like
I was gonna say, like, what kind of a design? Are you gonna kind of base the design off of that, or are you gonna go? I was gonna recommend. Are you gonna do something drastically different? Say like the Netflix did with Lost in Space.
See, you could, but here's the fun part. If you do it actually like Rosie was designed, there's so many flaws with that design that you could make fun of that.
That's true, yeah.
And have a lot of fun with it. So
that's very true. Yeah, I didn't know which way you wanted to go with that. If you wanted to try to keep that original design or not. So
keep it as original as I could with that one.
Yeah. So very good, very good. So redoing the Jetsons in
the Orville style.
In the Orville style. All right, very cool. Sean, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I know it's been remade already, but I'm thinking G.I. Joe as a gritty TV series.
I would agree.
A movie, a TV series.
Yeah. That would work.
Carl Urban as Duke.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, like he's the strong type. No, he does Judge Dredd great. I figured he'd be great as Duke.
Yeah.
Amy Adams is Scarlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could kick
I
some
can see
ass.
that.
Well, you got to kind of bring it back to reality a little bit more than what the movies did.
Yeah.
So, Snake Eyes, any martial arts expert, he doesn't talk. I'd love to see Ryan Reynolds, but I think it'd blow the budget because he just went up during the takes.
Yeah.
Got the body language, but it's not really for Snake Eyes.
I would get Ray Park to do it, honestly.
Ray Park would be.
I wanted to say that, and I'm like, well, I'm ripping off another movie, but yeah. Roadblock, I have Idris Elba. I think
that'd be awesome.
Awesome as the thing is, like, The Rock being Roadblock. Rock can play the most dramatic role ever. Like, he'd be sitting over his dying mother, holding a dying puppy, and the tears are all flowing, and you'd still want to laugh at him because he just it doesn't work. Cobra Commander, I had Gerald Butler.
That would be good.
Are
you going to do Are you doing the mask, or are you doing the chrome?
I do the mask, not the chrome.
Okay.
So you would just see his eyes, and and that way in the series he could be out doing something else. It could be like a secret identity kind of thing.
Yeah.
What else did I have? Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch for Destro.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how he would in the series, though. I think it would have to be a silver mask or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the question: is how do you go about doing that?
They actually did a pretty good job in the movie until they actually put nanites in him, and because that CGI was absolutely horrible.
Oh yeah, it was. It was bad.
I rewatched that just for this, and I'm like, what the hell? How did this even get by into a movie so bad? And then Angelina Jolie for the Baroness.
She does need to come back into something because it's.
I figured when they start washing up, they head back into the TV series.
Yeah, especially like a Netflix or HBO.
I was gonna say this seems a little grittier. I would definitely say HBO probably would be like, yeah, fine, sure, yeah, y'all do whatever y'all want to do, you know. But no, that I agree with you. I'd love to see G.I. Joe done right.
Yeah, like make it a TV series because there's so many different things you can do. Now I just touched off on a couple of characters just to get the thing rolling, but there's so many characters you could.
Oh yeah.
But the trick would be
different eras too, right?
That's the.
You could pick different eras as well. Like you don't have to put it in nowadays. You could go back into the 80s, 90s, 70s, and do it back then.
Yeah. Just like Agent Carter or something like that. Yeah. Marvel Universe. Throw it back.
Doing it as a period piece would be cool too. Especially if you did it as a period piece so that the technology would still be advanced, but it wouldn't be like stupid advanced.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you base it on the 80s, right? And then
yeah.
You could even have a couple of nods to the
Oh, yeah, you could do so much with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trick is not making it campy, because it'd only take one bad actor or a bad scene, and it's like, now this is done.
Yep. No, I totally agree. Totally agree. Did either of y'all see there was a short series cartoon that came out? Retaliation was the name of the movie. It was like G.I. Joe. I want to say it started with an R or whatever. I mean, it was hardcore, like literally the first scene, and it was like someone getting shot in the head, and that's what kind of kicked everything off. And I'm just like, man, this is dark and this is gritty. This is what G.I. Joe should be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm totally on board for that. So, the first one is actually the first one I'm gonna put out there is technically the second one I came up with was it's funny. I listened to this podcast, and there's a guy on there that is he's a huge Godzilla fan, but he's also just like a huge dinosaur fan, and he just was introduced to this cartoon series, this short-lived cartoon series with toys that are super expensive to get a hold of. And he's known about it for a while, and he finally just gave in and started watching it. And now he's like, I have to buy everything, and it's going to cost me a damn fortune. Dino Riders. Did either of y'all?
I love watching that.
So here's the reason I'm starting off with this one is I'd like to see it as a movie, because you're gonna have a big budget to do the dinosaurs to make them look right. I did not cast anyone for this movie, and here's why. Every single character on that show is forgettable. No one watched that show for the good guys. The bad guys were just kind of memorable just because they were like snakes and sharks, and the main bad guy had a super deep voice. Everyone freaking watched it for dinosaurs with lasers and stuff. Like, so that's going to be, I'm taking a Transformers route on this. It's like, okay, we're going to dump all of the budget into doing these awesome looking dinosaurs with, armor and all this other stuff. Let's just get nobodies, because I really don't care. I really don't care if we might get one token good guy, one token person to be, like the main leader of the good guys, and like maybe find someone does some really good voice work for the bad guy. But then other than that, 90% of the budget needs to go into dinosaurs. So,
yeah, you're paying CGI guys.
What tone would you give the movie? Would you like make it like an action one, or would you want to do a comedy? Or
I'd definitely want to make it definitely be an action comedy, because I mean the premise is pretty hokey. I dropped the whole time travel part, and I'm just like, okay, well, they're aliens from another planet, and they land here, and it just happens to be prehistoric time. It doesn't have to be that they also went back in time. Maybe that's just when they live, but I would definitely want it to be. I'm trying to think of a good example. Something like maybe like the Jungle Book movie that they just recently did, so that it's not. I don't want it to be too serious. I want it to be something lighthearted and fun. Because once again, dinosaurs and stuff. There's a couple reasons for that. One, I don't want the backlash of, even though they are digital animals, coming after me for, hey, you made a movie and you're showing, animals killing each other. There might be a couple of animals. Yeah, there might be a couple of animals that end up getting it in the end, but for the most part, everyone's going to be a horrible shot. But I want to make this kind of kid friendly so that we can sell a hell of a lot of toys, mainly dinosaurs with lasers. So,
all right, here, lead actor Steve Carell.
Steve Carell.
He's funny.
Ooh. Yeah, you'd make it a
that
comedy.
Or
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Oh my god.
He already kind of did it though in Land of the Lost.
True.
You know who needs a comeback and would still do kids movies probably is oh shit, what's his name from Looney Tunes? The Mummy.
Oh, Brendan Fraser.
Brendan
He's
Fraser.
already in.
I would totally have Brendan. If this is Brendan Fraser's comeback, absolutely, I'll take him. So we just need to find someone he's got a really awesome voice. Because I got a feeling most of the bad. Now here's my question. Obviously, the dinosaurs are going to be CG. For the most part, we might build part of a dinosaur for them to stand next to or whatever in certain cases. But the bad guys were all, like I said, one of them, like some of them looked like snakes, some of them looked like sharks, some of them looked like bugs. Do I want to do CG on them, or do I want to do this more? I'm almost thinking I need to redo the whole bad guys so that we can still focus most of the money on the dinosaurs and not have to worry about all the bad guys are also CG.
You could almost do like were they different factions or no?
No, they were all under the one guy, but they were all like I said, some of them were snakes, some of them were sharks, some of them were.
So you could just because you're taking liberty anyway, you could change it so that it's a class system, and then on like they have a badge. So depending on what level they're at, they're either a snake or a shark or whatever.
But do practical effects on the makeup?
I wouldn't even. You can just keep them human, and their different helmets are different.
Oh, I like that idea. The different helmets are. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. So not even so they're just humanoid. They're just wear these. Yeah, no, I like that idea. That's a good idea. So because that was one of the things I was watching the cartoon again. I was just like, because I don't want the dinosaurs to look really good, and then in the back, the main bad guys be like, wow, that looks like garbage. So that is clearly a foam mask.
This is Suicide Squad shit. All right.
Yeah, I know, right? So, well, alrighty. Well, like I said, dinosaurs, yeah, Dino Riders. I think I would honestly like to see that have some kind of a comeback because it was such a it was such a good idea. It just never took off, and I think honestly it was because all of they were focused too much on the characters that no one cared about. It was like everyone's tuning in to watch dinosaurs. That's why we're here. So, anyway, all right, Ray, we're back around to you.
All right, I'm glad you guys didn't take this one. I thought it was going to be gone. So,
okay.
All right, so I need a lot of voice actors for this. Okay. So I'm gonna get Jeremy Irons, Ian McShawn, Hugh Laurie, and then I'm also gonna get Andy Serkis because I'm gonna need a lot of CGI stuff.
Okay.
And then for the female role, I was thinking Zazie Beetz, who's from the Deadpool 2, because she's freaking awesome.
Okay.
And we are gonna do gargoyles.
No, oh my god, that would be such a good live action.
Like I was thinking, you stay away from the time travel stuff, right? And you stay away from is it Alyssa or anyway the female cop?
Yeah,
you keep her away from becoming a gargoyle, cause that whole line.
Yeah,
but you still show the past and the present and kind of like I can't remember if they lost their memory or what it was in the show. But they do show the past at some point, and I like.
What's at the beginning? I've got them on DVD.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Watch them every now and then.
But yeah, it's such a good show. I remember absolutely loving it. There was great cast voice actors then, but I thought you could update it with
getting like Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner and Doran. That was such a great cast.
Oh my really god, yes.
It really was. I just thought you could, I would love for Andy Serkis to take one of those main roles, whether he's the bad guy or the good guy, and see what he could do and what he could bring to the special effects, right? Like him in the suit or whatever, so they could capture him and him teaching the other guys how to walk around and like this. The screen cap would be amazing to capture all that, and then create the big gargoyles right on top of that.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
I can't believe I missed that one. I should have.
I thought it was going to be gone for sure. I thought it was going to be gone for sure. I'm like, oh, that was
I'm
my
like
first
you.
pick.
I'm kicking myself now because that was such a good show.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. And I was watching the new the new John Wick 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Ian McShaw or anyway, is the guy that owns the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I love his voice, man, and I could see him playing one of the main characters for sure. And yeah, just be awesome.
Man, that is such a good catch.
You could probably get a lot of the original voice cast still.
You probably could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, yeah. Because there's a little part of me that kind of wants to say, quite a few of them come back, but yeah.
Well, and I mean, you could do that, but the one that I do like is Zazie Beetz from Deadpool 2. She's the one that played
Domino?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she'd be great in that role.
I agree. Yeah.
So
or Elisa.
Yeah, Elisa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So she'd be the
you could probably get like Marina Sirtis and all that as Demona and all CGI anyway.
Exactly. You would have to get and that's why I would like to have Andy Serkis in there, because I think he would kind of take the lead on how the screen cap should go, and maybe you get different actors for that part. Mm-hmm. and just pay like stunt people to do those parts. But yeah, I thought it'd be pretty sweet.
That would be awesome, actually. That would be awesome.
Can we make it happen now?
I know, right? What I keep thinking about, and I wonder if anyone has done that cosplay. There are these people. They specifically they've started making these. Basically, it's a high heel, but instead of having the back part of the heel, like the back part of the heel's gone, and it's just all reinforced, and it goes down, and it gives you basically like a hoof or something, so that you kind of have that. That angle on that, on the bottom part of the leg. And I'm like, man, if you were okay with walking like that, can you imagine freaking doing a gargoyle cosplay? That would be so awesome.
You could make
the DVDs. They have like excerpts from like the gargoyle conventions that they have, and there is cosplay. Yeah, there is.
Wow.
They have gargoyle conventions for these. Like the original voice actors show up.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, the cosplay in them, like they got full wings and
the
whole 9 yards. They look really good.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up after the show. I can already see a rabbit hole coming down my way here. So.
Hey, and that's something that you could show the boys too.
Yeah, and see, here's one of those things. I mean, I know Disney has announced that all of the back catalog movies are going to be in their new service. If they put all of the back catalog cartoons in there, I think it's going to be a slam dunk, and I'm going to have to subscribe to that.
They've got the Simpsons, and they've got like
So
crazy.
All right, Sean, what's your next one?
I'm gonna go with Silverhawks.
Good pull.
Okay, Eugene does. You don't remember Silverhawks there, right?
No, buddy. I'm going to look it up right now.
Okay. This is why I had like 5 of them going at the same time, because Silverhawks was kind of related to Thundercats.
Which was
also related to what the hell is the other one? It was Shark something. I had them all down. There's a bunch of astronauts or whatever that they were on an ocean world, and they can dive into this tank, and it turned them into like fish kind of thing.
Okay, anyway, I don't remember that one, but
look them up. They all came out right around the same time. All the characters kind of look alike, and all 9 yards. Anyway, I used to love watching Silverhawks, so that's one I chose. So I would do it as a movie. Kind of a darker movie, because there is going to be so much CGI in it.
Yeah.
All the main characters are going to have to be CGI pretty much, except for their faces and stuff like that. So the lead guy for Silverhawks, the old guy that kind of sits back and runs the show, is Commander Stargazer. I had him cast as Patrick Stewart.
Nice.
Because he already can do the Borg thing. It's almost the same freaking makeup, except it's gold.
Good point.
It's Patrick's. Quicksilver, who's the leader of the Silver Hawks, I had Chris Evans.
Oh, good pull.
I think he
new role now anyway.
Well, yeah, he's a new one, and like made a comic book character like an icon in America and the world. So let's slap him in silver and start over again.
Oh yeah.
Colonel Bluegrass. Now this is the Silver Hawk that flies the ship around. Doesn't actually have wings or anything. I had him as Bradley Cooper. I can see him sitting in the ship playing a guitar.
I was going to say that is a good pull. I was going to ask you who you were going to pull for him, and that's a good pull.
Oh, and just wait, because I got another reason for picking him, but I'll get down there.
Okay.
Now, Steelheart and Steel Will, they were twins in the series. But I would change it up, and so Steelheart, I would make that Jessica Parker Kennedy. She plays Nora in the Flash series.
Okay.
And then I would give her a husband instead of a twin. Mm-hmm. And the husband would Steel Will is Josh Hutcherson. I played PETA.
Okay.
I think in the cartoon, they're both like pretty muscly and big and stuff like that. So I'm reducing the size a little bit. But especially with Josh Hutcherson, he actually, when you take a look, if you do like a side by side of the pictures, his facial structure actually looks kind of like the cartoon. It's kind of
nice.
Weird. But no, I think, and then you have like the husband-wife dynamic instead of this twins with the stupid psychic connection.
Yeah, the twin thing's kind of played out, especially in those cartoons like that.
The Copper Kid, I would just do CGI, mainly because the Copper Kid doesn't actually talk. It's always beeps and I think if you cast anyone that was recognizable, the audience would be like, "Oh, I already know what they sound like."
Yeah.
So either cast a total unknown, or just make a complete CGI. Okay, that way it keeps them in that illusion. Going on to the bad guys, Monstar. I want to put him as Ron Perlman, but I think Perlman
too old.
So because a younger Ron Perlman would have been awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Instead, I'd want to go with John Bernthal, the guy who plays Punisher.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I think just that anger that he can produce would be great for when he's not in his robotic form. I think he could pull it off. Yes, man. Out of this one, Leland Orser. You guys remember who Leland Orser is?
Not ringing a bell.
He played in so much, but he's always been like the second in command. So in the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, he plays the number 2 guy, the lawyer for Kingpin. Okay. Played in Alien Resurrection. He was the guy that they forced to get the whatever alien injected into him, and at the end of the movie, he like grabbed the guy and like pulled him close, and the alien shot through him. And he's played in so much. Look him up, Leland Orser. Okay. He's got this kind of whiny, nasally voice. He always plays second in command kind of thing, and he's just perfect for being a yes man.
Okay.
Hardware, I'd have John Goodman. Now, it would be kind of a CGI to make him look like a troll anyway. And John Goodman has that really good voice, like things and up like in Transformers. Really good. Yeah. And lastly, I had Melodia, Lady Gaga. That way you can have something going on between bluegrass and Melodia kind of thing.
Oh, Lord.
Already proven it works.
That's awesome.
It's real.
That's awesome.
That's it. That's all I got for that one. There's quite a few more characters for the bad guys, but Silverhawks was always one of my favorite cartoons growing up. And yeah, I think that would be so awesome to have a dark movie, like not comical or anything. That's what you had. You couldn't pick comic actors or anything like that. Couldn't be too many jokes in it. So, yeah, that would be so cool. Now they have the technology, as long as they don't do like a Green Lantern kind of crap. But
yeah, you don't want to go down that path. So, the next one I picked, I also want to do as a movie. I also want to do as a action comedy because once again, it's the idea of it is kind of, I don't know how you could really do it serious and people kind of take it serious, but who knows? I did Centurions. Y'all remember that one?
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
I had some of that. One of the best things about those action figures is they were like 12 inches tall. They were big action figures, so that all of the weapons and stuff that went on them were like sizable. They were awesome. They weren't like, tiny and going to break off or whatever. Of course, that also meant they were more expensive, but because I know we had like the main bad guy and his henchmen, and I think we had two of the dudes, but I don't think we had the third one on. But like I said, it's been a while. So yeah, I want to do Centurions. For Doc Terror, horrible name, but for Doc Terror, I wanted Clive Owen.
That would be good.
I wanted someone who could do a serious bad guy.
That might almost be too scary.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So his henchman was named Hacker, and I remember he was just kind of a goofball. And I was trying to think. I was like, well, what's a big burly guy that I can get to, play that character that's going to be half cyborg or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm doing this as a comedy. I'm going to get Charlie Day, and it's going to be Charlie Day in this, and that's going to be one of the things. He's going to be like, oh my God, I'm fucking huge. And I can I can break shit. And oh my God, this is awesome. So like I said, he'll temper down Clive Owen. All right. So for the main characters, we've got Max Ray, who's the water guy. He's essentially the leader. I want Nick Offerman, and here's why. Because he had an awesome mustache in that cartoon, and I was like, who could sport? Fucking Nick Offerman can sport an awesome mustache. Plus, I think being a little bit old, a little bit older than some of the other characters I've picked. I think he'd also have the authority figure there. So for Jake. Well, Tom Selleck would be a little old, but yeah. If I were casting this back like a decade or so ago, oh yeah, Tom Selleck would have totally been who I would have picked. In fact, I almost think if you watch any of the cartoon, it's almost like that's who they kind of base the character off of a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. For Jake Rockwell, he was kind of he was the land guy. He was kind of hot tempered and like was like really get out there and go or whatever. Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt could bring a lot of energy to it and get pissed off and like, want to just like double down on the action. Ace McCloud, God, such a generic name, was kind of the cocky ladies man show off. I'm going to flip the script on this one. And I'm pulling back someone else from another movie that had a duo in there. I want to see Jennifer Lawrence. I want to see Jennifer Lawrence be my sky person and be cocky and be like, just because I'd like to see her play a cocky role and play off of Chris Pratt. I think that would be fun with Nick Offerman trying to keep them focused on what's going on. I think that could be a lot of fun.
As long as they have better chemistry than they did in Passengers.
That's what I've heard. Yes, that's my second shot on this one. So, and then Crystal Kane, the girl who's up in Sky Vault, which is actually what beams down the weapons and everything to him. Ellen Page, I thought she'd be good for that role. So, but like I said, I want it to be an action comedy. I want it to be freaking over the top because they're going to keep getting all these different weapons, and then of course at the end, the bad guys look like they might be able to win, and then they're going to beam down like they're really super heavy duty weapons, and they're just going to tear shit up. It's going to be lots of explosions.
Michael
like
Bay
I said,
directing them.
Yeah, it was directed by Michael Bay.
I was gonna try to find the guy who maybe directed something more like Rampage or something like that. So it's still a lot of blowing up shit, but not maybe quite on Michael Bay's level. So But we'll see. Who knows? What's funny though is I like older Michael Bay stuff, like Armageddon and The Rock and stuff. I like those movies. I just don't like what he did to Transformers or Ninja Turtles. But anyway, yeah. So back whenever he was still, I think back when he was still working with Jerry Bruckheimer, I think that, if we could get that Michael Bay back, things might be okay. So, all right. So that was my second pick, was the Centurion. So, Ray, what's your next one?
So my next one was a short-lived cartoon in the 80s. I never watched it. After watching the trailer for it, or not the trailer, sorry, the opening for it, I said, thank God I didn't watch it because I would have hated it. But anyway.
And then you still picked this for a reboot.
I still picked this for a reason. I think because this series has such a draw for the game aspect, Dungeons and Dragons would have made a great series. Now, here's the thing.
Hell yeah.
I think because they have so much to pull, I think Netflix should do this very much the way that they did their pick your own adventure style. So you pick your hero, and then you pick at certain points, you pick the decision which way they go.
You are adding so much to the budget on this, but I love this idea.
Oh, the budget's like gone.
Yeah.
But I just think it would be such a wicked idea if you actually did, all the different scenarios and then react it. You're doing retakes on it anyway, right? So based on which decisions you end up at the end with different people, or and certain people will die depending on what you choose, and then you may actually die based on your decisions, and it'll go back to a different point where you have to go again. And I just think that'd be kind of a fun way to do that one.
That would be apparently and I have not watched it yet, but their Bandersnatch Black Mirror episode apparently has done really well. I heard a report that Netflix is doubling down on the whole choose your own adventure type show. So obviously it did well enough that they're looking to invest more stuff. So yeah, I think Dungeons and Dragons would be a good way to do it.
Well, it'd be kind of cool because then you could choose which hero you're going to follow, right?
Yeah.
And so that way you kind of start off with that, and then the rewatchability too, right?
Oh yeah.
You can go down so many different roads with it. So,
are you going to recast Marlon Wayans?
Different show, bud. Different show.
Okay.
You said cartoons, so I picked cartoons from 83 to 85.
Okay.
It did a Dungeons and Dragons movie, though.
Yes.
And it was Marlon Wayans.
That's why I'm asking if Marlon Wayans was going to be.
Yes, but and you know what? Chris will actually watch that movie.
I've never seen it.
I don't remember much about it, but I do remember Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, it was okay. I'm not gonna lie. I've watched a couple of times with Chris, and it was okay. The problem is, how do you tell, because of how big Dungeons and Dragons is, right? And because of what you can pull into it, how do you tell all those different stories, as well as still give the viewer that choice? Because that's the big thing behind it, is I want to choose, right? So, that's why if you give them that through Netflix or whatever, maybe HBO comes up with something, then you could actually follow through that.
Are you going to would you cast recognizable people, or would you?
I would say you'd have to go with unknowns.
I agree with that.
Yeah. You'd have to do a bunch of unknowns, which is a risk, but I just think that would be better.
I agree. No, I agree. I think that would be the better way to go.
Yeah.
So that's a good idea, dude.
I like that one.
I try.
Good job. Where are we? Oh, Sean, you're next, right? Yeah.
All right. My last one. I used to watch this one every day after school. I love watching it. It was watching them now. It's pretty stupid, but kids. Cops. You ever want to watch Cops?
I remember Cops. Yes.
Yeah. Central Organization of Police Specialists.
Yes.
I would do this as a television series, similar to like Brooklyn Nine-Nine kind of thing.
That sounds fantastic.
So, like, there is a shit ton of characters for this series too. Like, they used to, like, they'd have like 2 or 3 characters a show, and then cycle them through, and you wouldn't see those characters for like 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, kind of. I would start with Bulletproof. Leader is Michael Dorn. Worf. Big, imposing guy, good voice.
Yep.
Yes.
And I think you needed that.
His eyes alone is he stares.
Okay, so is it a comedy? I had gags going through it this whole thing. So his would be like the walk around, always smirking. Running gag would always be finds a place too bright, but every time he gets a pair of glasses, he'd lose them, kind of thing. Or he'd try on new pair of glasses every show, and it'd be something he'd like them, and then someone else in the show would say those look stupid or something like that, or make fun of them. So he'd have a new pair every time.
Nice.
Long arm would be Woody Harrelson.
Wow. Okay.
The old-fashioned cop given new tech, and he's just after it, but he won't give up. Yeah. So he'd be like shooting in and like locking himself to a wall or something like that.
You can get Matthew McConaughey on that one too. Get like a true detective going.
Bowser, I would get. I can't even pronounce his last name. Milo Ventimiglia. Peter from Heroes.
Oh, okay.
From what?
Oh, remember the TV series Heroes? Peter, the main guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Big bushy mustache, 70s porn style mustache on him.
I would suit him.
I think he would be perfect for it. You get the big mustache on him and all that, and like always an animal lover kind of thing. Always take care of it. And for Blitz, I get like a robotic dog, but the running gag for that one is the programmer, like for the initial barking sound, would be the programmer actually saying woof woof. And then for the rest of the series, he never barks like a dog. The programmer keeps screwing it up. So one time he'd be running around meowing like a cat, or the old lady saying, "Where's the beef?" kind of thing.
Nice.
Never in the whole series would he actually bark like a dog.
Right.
Highway, I did a gender swap on this one and got Jane Lynch.
She could definitely pull the
like just the no nonsense. Like originally I was going to put her as misdemeanor at one, but no, put her on a motorcycle and put her on the cop side kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mirage. Now in the series, Mirage was like the overt specialist from like San Francisco. I would make her Emma Watson and just do her from across the pond kind of thing.
Okay.
Would make it that she's kind of ditzy in the series and all that, but she's the type of character that has like super ass martial arts skills and all that, and has like knows like crime bosses and how to extort people, but she always comes across as a ditz. Then on to the bad guys. Big Boss. I have Jason Alexander. This is a kind of a comedy series, so I'm thinking Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander as the Big Boss would be hilarious.
That would be so funny. And then his nephew, Berserko, would be Jake Busey.
Yeah.
Perfect. Dr. Bad Vibes. Now, when I was growing up watching this show, I always thought Dr. Bad Vibes was a chick. Anyway, I have Quentin Tarantino.
What?
Take a look, because he's always got the lips that are all kind of puckered up kind of thing. That's like Dr. Bad Vibes all the time. And the last one I got, I got misdemeanor is China.
Okay.
It's supposed to be an ugly chick and like all muscle. She's supposed to be like super strong. Well, China's ugly, but
is she still alive though?
Sure, she is. I'm gonna have to look that one up.
I'm looking that up because I don't know if she's.
Well, if she's dead, then she'd be probably not very good looking. So.
No, she's still alive.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh no! Sorry, no, she did. She died. April 2016.
All right. Well, I'll have to recast that one. And the last one.
What about that Ronda Rousey chick? How about that?
Who?
Ronda Rousey.
I'm just throwing things out there.
I don't know. Like, I Googled that one looking for muscle-bound actresses.
Ronda's pretty
the only one I could find with clothes on. So.
Before Deb's like, what are you doing?
I got Peter Capaldi for buttons.
Peter Capaldi, okay.
Okay, yeah.
And for someone that could get underneath that fedora and be all tucked in and just out his guns.
Nice.
Yeah. Cops. I think that would make a pretty good TV series as long as they kept it pretty light. But once again, there's like 1,000 freaking characters. You could have like 1,000 stories.
You could do like the True Detective where each season is focused on different people. So that way
I was almost gonna say, so you could also do episodes where it's almost like Reno 911. Where they're just little short things or whatever, and then of course you have episodes where it's like, a big thing going on. So I still love Jason Alexander as the big boss.
Like Cops, the TV series, like camera crew following them around.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. You could do like The Office for cops.
Oh my god, that would be so good. Yes. and it wouldn't make any sense at all. But then you'd also have the bad guys doing the same thing. So Jason Alexander's just like, God, they're such a bunch of idiots.
You could have.
When I started this, I had to put Jason Alexander in something.
Nice.
Yeah, you could absolutely have the camera crew following around the bad guys and like the cops. Nobody's cluing into as to why all these guys are following. That's just a documentary.
But you could have like the two camera crews meeting up and like having chats while the other two are totally oblivious.
I was gonna say, if it's one camera crew, can you imagine they get into like this fight or whatever, and literally one guy from the good guys, one guy from the bad guys, go to turn to the camera, and the cameraman's like, "Who do I follow?"
Really? Yeah, they switch halfway
through. Yeah, the sound guy goes after one.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, I like that idea. That's a good idea. The last one that I picked was honestly the first one that popped in my head. It's one that I actually went back and kind of watched a little bit of, and I also watched a YouTube breakdown of it, and I obviously have fonder memories of this cartoon than what it actually was, because it was actually a really bad cartoon. Of course, it was only 13 episodes. And what's funny is I started working on this earlier this week. When I started doing research, just within the last month, they've released something else that goes along with it. And then yesterday, I saw a press release for a live action reboot they're doing to it as well. And what I'm looking at doing is, did either of y'all watch the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo?
That was horrible.
It was horrible, but when I watched it at the time, I liked it for whatever reason. And here's the funny thing: they literally just released an animated movie just within the last month or so, where they finally catch the 13th ghost. It's been 30 freaking years that they finally caught the last ghost. And then the other thing is, I just saw a press release. It was today or yesterday, where they're looking at redoing the live action Scooby Doo movies, and they're looking at getting like Zac Efron to play um, what's his face, Fred. And I don't remember who they said they were going to get. They had someone else listed on the press release that they were going to have to play Daphne, but anyway, so in the cartoon series, the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo, for whatever reason, Fred and Daphne are not. I'm sorry, Fred and Velma aren't in the group. It's just Scooby and Shaggy and Daphne
Right.
and Scrappy, and they manage. Yes, and they managed to open this chest, and the chest opens and release these ghosts, and they're basically told and demons, and they're told they're the ones that opened it. They're the ones that have to put them back. And
before you go on, I'm with you on this one. Okay, I'm good, but I would have to make it a stipulation that Scrappy dies like in the first. He's the one that releases it, and he dies by like immediately.
That would be fine. Actually, what I was going to do was, there was also, and instead of having Fred and instead of having Fred and Velma, they had Scrappy Doo, and they created a new character, a little con artist, and his name was Flim Flam. And I'm like, no, not doing that. So I'm going to go back to the original group. I'm going to have the original 5. We can throw Scrappy in there and throw him under a bus if we need to at the very beginning. That's fine.
Like literally the first, they're in the van, they're driving, they're what the hell did they say? And you see Scrappy rolling down. Like that's fine. That's or just a dog tag on the road.
I definitely wanted. Now here's the thing. I was going to go a little bit darker on this, a little bit more serious, because like I said, there are going to be ghosts and demons and stuff. I was picturing maybe it's 13, there are 13 ghosts they're going after. I was halfway thinking, what if we did 2 seasons so we can have 2 episodes, kind of build into, each ghost or whatever. So for Daphne, I want Haley Steinfeld. She was in the Bumblebee movie.
Yep.
She's going to be my Daphne. My Fred is going to be Joe Keery. He plays Steve on Stranger Things.
Okay, he'd be good. Yep.
Velma, I got Ariel Winter. She plays Alex in Modern Family. I thought she would be a perfect Velma. I, for the life of me, could not figure out my Shaggy. I'm also skewing a lot younger. Like I'm skewing early 20s. So I'd have to kind of look that up. Now, here's the other thing. There was another character in this series, and I think it's honestly the reason why I liked it so much. Because there was a sorcerer, and he would give them hints and tips and help them out as they were going along. And the sorcerer's name was Vincent, and he was based off of and voiced by Vincent Price. So I'm like, all right, I need a Vincent Price. Who am I going to go with? And I think I want Ian McKellen. He wouldn't have to do a lot. He basically just has to show up. A lot of this stuff is him talking through the glass ball, but how awesome would it have to be Ian McKellen as your fucking sorcerer telling you what to do? Yeah. And like I said, they just really, obviously everyone, there are other people who remember this because they just released the cartoon. And like I said, they're talking about rebooting the anime or the live action movies. So, but yeah, I was like, I'd like to see this done right. Like, I like the idea, the core idea I like. It's just the execution was horrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go look up some YouTube reviews of the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo, and they'll break it down, and you're just like, wow, yeah, that's not good at all. So, but anyway, did anyone else have another one they wanted to throw out there? I'm good. I'm done.
I had one that I thought about.
Alrighty.
I had one that I thought about that I just kind of shut down because I can't see anybody other than John Goodman. That's the Flintstones. I'd really like them to redo it. I think that they've got the ability to now where they can make it really interesting and very cool.
Okay.
But I just can't see anybody but John Goodman playing Fred Flintstone.
That was spot on casting for him, Yeah.
Well, the first movie, yes.
Yeah, the first one.
The other one's not so much.
Yeah. Only thing is, though, is he's kind of lost a lot of weight.
He couldn't do it now.
No, he couldn't. That's kind of why I stopped. I'm like, without him as Fred, I wouldn't want to recast it. I was like, yeah. But I thought the Flintstones could be revisited, and that could be something again where I don't know. And then I did have a funny thought.
Okay.
Where you kind of mix the Muppets in with Looney Tunes. So it's Looney Tunes trying to put on the show, right? Like at the orchestra and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's live action where the people are helping them out, but it's very much kind of like Roger Rabbit, where you've got.
Oh, okay. I know what you. Yeah.
You got the tunes running around, and then the real orchestra is there trying to play, and I just thought that'd be kind of fun too.
That would be an interesting take.
Yeah.
When you were talking about your pick, you were reading about it that they're actually doing a live action, Eugene. I thought for sure you were talking about Mask, because they are doing a live action for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see what they end up doing with that. So, because I remember
started doing that one, but then I was like, you know what? They're working on a movie. I need to do this.
I don't remember anything about the characters in that. All I remember, because it was, to me, it was like, wow, these are some awesome looking vehicles that kind of not transform into robot, but they transform and have weapons, and that's awesome.
Movies were awesome.
Yeah.
The only other one that I thought of, just because I want to see him reprise his role, is Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah.
I've been seeing rumors that they're doing another one.
I heard there. I don't think they will.
Stranger awesome, Things, man. We're getting a new Ghostbusters movie next summer and a new Bill and Ted's. Which, I mean,
that's true.
I'm
excited for that one.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Yes. Yeah, seeing Bill and Ted, seeing the official announcement, I'm just like, oh man, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be, even if it's just okay, it's still gonna be cool to see those guys, especially he's John Wick now. He's not. That's who I picture. He's not even Neo to me anymore. He's fucking John Wick, and seeing John Wick act that is gonna be awesome. So, yeah. So, well, that is our show for the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Thundercats.
Thundercats, yeah.
I love that
don't know
redo.
How to do it.
I love that redo they did, the animated series. I like the story and the what all they added to it. If they would do that, maybe live action. But I don't know if I want to see furries. I don't know. It's just a weird. I don't know.
A few years back, there was a picture going around Vin Diesel as Panthro. Did you ever see that?
I saw that. Yes.
I'm looking it up. So freaking cool.
I was gonna say that's the one thing that's like, I don't know. So, of course, I'd still like to see an awesome, He-Man, which they keep talking about back and forth. We may or may not get. So,
I hear there's casting rumors going on for He-Man right now. I was just reading that this week.
Yeah, supposedly it may actually be getting off the ground. So, because there's a huge following for it still. So, what are you?
So they did Vin Diesel, but they also did Brad Pitt.
Lionel. Nice.
Oh Lord.
That's funny. Anyway,
that is funny. Well, that is our show for the week, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please, all right, let's go ahead and move on to our picks and pans before we get to our 5-star rating and all that other good stuff we normally go through. Would anyone like to go first with their pick or pan?
Sure.
Go ahead, Ray.
All right, Ray. What you got?
So the kids' report cards came back, and that was I was pretty happy that they did all, they're doing well and everything. But the most part that I get to brag about with the kids was we're on a bit of a health kick where we want to make sure that our family is all healthy and everything. And so it came to taking the kids to go get some blood work done, just to make sure we have baselines and understand where they're at and what they need, if they do need anything at all. And so had to take them to the hospital and get the blood done. And both of them sat in that chair like champs, and not a single tear out of either of them. And they were little nervous at first, but yeah, I was really really happy with them. That they just sat there and it was great. It was like, yes, good parenting moment.
That's awesome. Can they look at it while they're doing it? Because I can't. I would literally faint, and that's not even an exaggeration.
Neither of them did. I was on the phone distracting them with like dad jokes. I had a list of dad jokes up, and we're just kind of going through that. And then once they got going, they were fine. So
nice.
But yeah, it was that was a good day. So
good deal. Very good. Sean, you want to jump in?
I got a couple picks and pans. The picks Division 2 just dropped. Really enjoying it. And the other pick was Anthem. I don't these two great games, and they like drop them both back to back. But it led me into my pan. I beat Anthem, the main game, in like a week. I was kind of surprised with that. Like the main storyline, like there's still lots of play left in it, but main storyline, like after playing like a couple hours of it, I'm like, I know where this is going, and I hope there's more to this afterwards, and there wasn't. I was like, wow. But it worked out in the end because I beat Anthem and then went right into Division 2.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they planned that for you.
Other pan is so I've stepped up for my boss for the last month or so. So normally I get to work and I change into blues and like I totally change all my clothes and all that. And so in the morning when I get up, I'm like a chubby ninja. I like don't wake up my wife. I don't turn on any lights. I just get out there and get to work. And then that's when I do all my deodorant and get cleaned up and all that at work. But now I don't change into the blues. I leave my normal clothes on. So this past week, I'm trying to put deodorant on. I got my shirt wrapped around my friggin' head and I sprayed my face. Work. Oh my God, that shit burns. Oh
yeah, I can imagine.
And then I'm like, my whole one side, I'm like covered in white. Like,
that's freaking awesome.
In the morning, too.
Oh, I want a video of that.
Oh my God. At least there wasn't anyone in the change room at the time. But so like I'm all tied up with my arms wrapped in my shirt. Half my face is deodorant. I slammed my head into my locker door. It was so brutal.
I'm in the same locker room as Sean. I wish I was there for that because damn, that would have been funny.
That's hilarious.
It sucked. Not worth the pay raise.
Sorry about that.
I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah. I've got two picks for this week in a pan. My first pick is Captain Marvel. It's a good movie. It's a good fun movie. I don't think it's definitely one of the best movies, but I mean that's saying a lot. Like there are some really good, MCU movies. But I had a lot of fun watching it. I think she did a great job in the role. I think that Marvel at least has gotten to the point that they can just cast anyone and use them at any point in their lifespan because their de-aging is so ridiculously good. Coulson, to me, there were a couple of times he looked just a tad bit off, but Sam Jackson never once looked
Coulson looked a little shiny sometimes.
A little shiny but for the most part, I'm just like, well, that could have just been like lighting. Like it's just, God, it was so good. So yeah, if you haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, definitely go see Captain Marvel. My other pick for the week is our good friend Cyrus has restarted his his channel, and I was going to rag him about it, but I decided not to because he has quit and come back multiple times. But I think he's finally got his head on straight as to what he wants to do with his channel. And the videos that he has produced thus far is probably the best work that he's done since his book writing. They're short and they're like maybe 10 minutes max. They're short, they're funny, they're well edited. I laughed out loud at one point, and I'm like, this is what you should have been doing. Like, this is great. Like, to the point I texted him and I was like, I'm a little bit pissed that you decided not to start doing videos for Epically Geeky again, but it's all good, dude, because what you're putting out now is awesome. So, yeah.
Fun. When's the next one coming out?
I don't know. He doesn't have a specific release date, so
I'm glad though, because he needs that outlet, right?
he needed an outlet, and he even said he's like, he basically shut off from everything, and I think he did still need that shut off, but he's like, I need to. I've got energy. I need to do something. I knew he was going to eventually do something. I just didn't know if he was going to channel that back into doing videos, if he was going to start writing another book or whatever. So I knew it was going to take some time, but he was going to get there. So, my pan for the week is well, not the flooring itself. The flooring has come out really good. My wife and I have been talking for years about pulling up the carpet and putting down vinyl plank, and it looks really good. If you're watching the video, you can see it here behind me, plus some of my boys' toys, but it looks really good. But yeah, it's taking a lot of time. In fact, that's why we didn't have a show last week, because I literally spent 8 days of my spring break, 8 days, almost 12-hour days, at least 12-hour days for 7 of those days, working on this. And we literally are not done yet. Like, we are finishing the boys' room tomorrow. I worked on it today. We worked on it today. We're going to hopefully finish the boys' room tomorrow. We'll still have one more room to do the next weekend, so I'm still not done. The vinyl, like I said, the vinyl plank has gone slower than I was hoping it was going to. It looks great. My pan though is, it's called HAVS, HAVS, hand arm vibration syndrome. It's basically a form of carpal tunnel, and I got it, I'm assuming, from hammering, and I really think it's mainly because of some of the saws that I've been using. But right now I have a wrist thing on, and as long as I'm wearing it, it's fine. Like, my hand feels fine right now. But last Thursday, my arm and my fingers started feeling like they were like trying to go to sleep, and then they were waking back up, and then I would go to sleep and I'd wake up about 3 a.m. and it felt like my hand and arm and wrist were on fucking fire, and it was, oh my God, it was horrible. I understand now why my mom was in so much pain from carpal tunnel. She had surgery done on it and everything. But yeah, so if you are using tools and, or doing computer stuff and people are constantly warning you, make sure, you're doing this, that, and the other to prevent carpal tunnel. It's no joke. It's no joke. Yep. Yeah. That is our show for the week, ladies and gentlemen. If you would, please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Music. It really does help out. You can check us out at epicallygeeky.com. There you can find this show as well as the other shows that we do, Sustainably Geeky, Marginally Geeky. We should have a new Sustainably Geeky, or a new Marginally Geeky coming up here pretty quick in the next week or so. We're doing The Authorities by Scott Meyer. Really fun book. Can't wait to talk to Ray about that specifically, because I know he greatly enjoyed it. And then we just had a Sustainably Geeky come out last week about composting. So I actually learned some stuff about that. I had no idea. And then you can check out Epically Geeky Expo is coming up here on May 17th to the 19th. If you go to epicallygeeky.com, it'll take you to the other site. You can buy your tickets. If you're in the local area, we'd love for you to come out. We are going to do a live show there. So, stop by and say hi. And if nothing else, I'm judging, or I'm in charge of the kids cosplay contest. So that's also a lot of fun. We'll be at the booth dressed up. Come by, say hi. We'd love to see you. So, and then of course you can find us at Epically Geeky on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Ray, where can we find you online?
The Reluctant Yeti on Twitter and on Instagram. So.
Yes. So, Sean, can we find you anywhere online?
I'm just hiding behind a bush.
Just look for the bush and look for Sean. And then, as always, you can follow my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Genie on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I will be getting back to putting my proton pack back together, but first I got to finish the flooring. So if you're interested in flooring pictures, I'm where to be. So for everyone on this site, have a good night.